Okay, we froze.
Good morning. Hello, 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 Body, Mind, and Soul Connections Network. We're coming to you live with another Connection Circle. And thank you so much for being here. We've got two lovely guests this morning, as well as my co-hosts, Adriana D. Marvel and Lorna Gale, who are going to jump in a moment. Audrey, as you know, Adriana usually opens this up, but she's feeling a little under the weather this morning. So we're just gonna switch up roles and do our connection circle. And you know how it rolls. We do a round of hey, how are yous, name, title, and locations. And then we'll do 5 minutes each of sharing about your offer. And then we will do a final round of wrap up. So Lorna is going to lead our second round, but let's start by introducing first our guests. If Helia, if you wouldn't mind introducing and hopefully I said that right, your name, what you do, and where you are in the world. So great to have you here today.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. And yes, you pronounced my name perfectly. My name is Helia Oghani. I'm a manifestation coach and I live in Toronto, Canada.
Ooh, thank you for being here. Excited for that. And I wonder if Danielle, if you can pop back on and give us your name, title, and location. And while we're waiting for you to pop back on, I'll ask Lorna if you would mind your name, title, and location.
Sure. I'm Lorna, and over here in the Okanagan in Canada's British Columbia. So hello, across from west to east, Helia. And I am a somatic sex educator. I am a intuitive energy healer and a sex and spirit alchemist of the feminine-led life. Speaker and story unweaver.
And amazing hostess of Body, Mind, and Soul Connections. Adriana, would you mind sharing?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. My name is Adriana Di Marvel. I am from Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and I was called. Was the title given actually by Michelle, by a brain mechanic, and I'm also a transformational speaker. Thank you so much.
Aw, thank you so much for being here today when you're not even feeling well. Danielle, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us your name, title, and location.
My name is Danielle. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I am a complex trauma recovery coach. So I primarily work with people who have complex post-traumatic stress disorder and heal that in a holistic way. And I'm also in Edmonton, actually, and it is definitely cold.
We're stacked for the Canadians today. What's it minus something yet, or what's it?
Oh yeah, it's like minus 20, feels like minus 25 probably at this point.
And if you got snow?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Helia, how's the weather where you're at?
It's cold. It's pretty cold, but not inside, of course. Outside, that's hence why I'm wearing this top. But it's pretty chilly and windy outside. But I've been trying to work on my mindset this year because as soon as winter hits, I take off and I go on vacation, which is okay. If you can do that, fine, do it. But I don't want to be in a mindset of skipping and running away from the weather. So I'm trying to make peace with it. Let's put it this way.
Well, Lorna, how's the Okanagan?
We've got snow here. We've had a little bit, but for the last few days it sort of snows and then it melts throughout the day, but it's still snow cover and things are a little bit icy. But yeah.
Well, I will not talk about the Victoria weather scene where I am at. It's +6 and sunny.
Do tell, give us the good vibes, please.
That's right.
When I first moved to Victoria from the Okanagan, I'm on the, for those of you who don't know, Victoria, BC is on the very west coast of Canada. And when I first moved here, I thought, oh, I'm going to miss my seasons, you know, the snow and the fall and the leaves and everything. And then it was pansies in December. And I thought, oh, this is so bad.
That's very true. Very true. Yeah.
Great to have you all here. Lorna, would you take us into the second round where we start to talk about people's gifts, who they serve, how and why?
Absolutely. And Michelle, did you say your title as well?
I actually did not. Thank you very much. I'm Michelle Boshard. I call myself the natural entrepreneur. I'm a mission technician, a digital doula. I help people craft their online offers and build the tech to support them. And I do that as a social purpose enterprise. And I'll tell you more about that in a bit. So thanks, Lorna.
Absolutely. So we want to welcome you here, Helia and Danielle. And those of you who are listening on the replay, we in advance want to encourage you to reach out to Danielle and to Helia and connect with them, both as sister, fellow entrepreneurs and body, mind, and soul providers, and see what comes from those beautiful connections. So we just really want to put that out here. And that's why, when Michelle and Adriana and I created this group and we're moved to do it, it was really to be able to create these connections. And so we really want to, from the very first step into the circle together, is to really put that out, that we want to be able to, whatever ways we can, to support you in those connections and in collaborations that may come from this networking, this event in this community, and as well the clients that will come from you here as well. And Michelle, I know, and I'm just going to put a bit of a seed here, simply because what we do see is really important is we do have a directive. We'll tell you more about that later on, but what we want to do is create a space where you can be connecting, and where we get to know each other, not only in this circle and through a one-on-one interview that you can do, but in the community itself, so that we can say, hey, I know Danielle. If you're looking for this, she's your one. Or check with Danielle, you wouldn't right away, right? CPTSD. I know somebody that, is dealing with that. So these ways where we can really, when we talk about a networking, we sort of think, okay, we're getting together and finding out. But I also say, look at that word, network. Is your networking to be able to support those connections? So that's really what we want to create this space for you today, that people that are listening to you, Danielle and Helia, will say, oh, okay, there's somebody. Or just, I know I've had it, there's times where it's just kind of like, oh, that's a person. I can't put it to words, but I need to connect with that person. So we love to shine the light on you so that your light can shine, and those connections and collaborations and clients can continue to be there as you express and be the light that you are in the world. I think that's a big part of it, is a light, that's turned off. It's just there, but to be able to provide the space where you can really shine and share your gifts. So in this next thing, and I've put the questions there that we're going to go through in round 2. The first one is your gifts, and it's not about the free gift. We're not asking for that. What we're doing is the gift that you are. What are the gifts that you bring to the world through your experience? Who do you serve and how? Was it one-on-ones? Is it retreats? What is it? How do you serve people? And your why. So why do you do what you do? You can mix those questions up in whatever way you want to. And what we love to do in our circle is to create this space where we really put down the script and really are just here listening, hearing each other as we share, to be able to, and then when it's your time to speak, somehow it'll just come, just because you've heard and you've been here and it's coming from your lived experience. As well, one of the things we love to do is this weaving together of this circle. So the first person that shares, and I'm feeling, is going to be Michelle. Michelle is going to share, and then the next person that shares something that clicked with you of what Michelle shared. And I'm actually just going to, Danielle, I'm feeling called that you'll be the next one that will go. So after Michelle shares, then something that she has shared that you kind of, oh, that clicks, or I relate to that, or yeah, we're the same. Something that's something that connects there. You're going to take that thread and weave it into your first, few moments of your time of talking, and then from there, go into and share your gifts, who you serve and why, or how, and your why. Okay, and then the next person will pick up something that from the person just before, and we weave that through, and then the last person, then Michelle will have opportunity to do that. So it's just one of our waves of weaving together this connection circle. So Michelle, if you will please go ahead and begin. We put it on where we have 5 minutes each to share. Really just allows you to lean into, and I'll have the timer on so you don't have to watch that yourself. There'll be this lovely little chime at the end that says, oh, time's up. And if you're in the midst of finishing up something, go ahead and finish that and maybe just pause if the timer goes off so that we can hear what you are sharing there with us. And to be able to there. So again, welcome here. You are so welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorna. And before we even start, we have Mark and Caroline watching on Facebook. Thanks for being here, guys. And make sure that you connect with Lorna, Adriana, Helia, Danielle, myself by dropping a comment or a note. It's great to see you. I'm really looking forward to things here. So what I would like to say, I guess I'm going to kind of go off of our 3 questions where we talk about, you know, our gifts, who we serve and how and why. I don't know how I describe my gifts, but essentially, I am kind of a nature freak. I grew up, my mom was a nature artist. I did my formal studies in watershed scientists, and you might watershed science. I did a lot of stewardship and salmon recovery and all sorts of pieces, and I love to be out in nature and really ground and connect, and it helps me center myself. But how would somebody who has that kind of description end up in digital marketing and online offer crafting coaching? It is a rather long story, and I'm a bit like Forrest Gump, but I basically came through my children. So my son is now turned 20, and he has severe autism, and it's nonverbal and self-injurious. And the journey that my family has been on to support him led us through a number of like changes and adjustments that we needed to make our life feel natural for us. And part of the reason why I use the natural entrepreneur is because I really feel like people have natural gifts, like people have natural we have to live our lives more naturally, and that each of us have a natural business inside of us somewhere, whether it's a passion or a lived experience or a skill set that you've learned over 20 years, or just those things that people come to you for naturally that you have in you. And that was one of the gifts that my son gave me, was understanding that even if you can't speak, it's in you. And I feel like when we start looking at the online world, especially if you haven't before, and what I love to do is help people get that out of them when they haven't been able to articulate what their gift is, how to go online, they're afraid about the tech, and they don't know how to do it. They've got something to offer the world and exchange to bring as their gift. And I think of the business world as a system, as a biological system, same way that an ecosystem works. So, just like you have a water, soil, plant, insect, animals, in the business world, we've kind of been a monoculture, and I feel like when we bring our individual gifts to bear through an online offer, we are re-biodiversifying the business landscape. So I sort of like to think of that business is natural, especially for women, and even though we've been told it's not. So I have an 8-week offer where I help people go from, I don't even know what it would do online, to their first sale. I have a 12-week offer where I go from, I have maybe my first sales, but I'm experiencing, death by 1,000 software cuts, and I have so many passwords and subscriptions to do all the things, and I'm spending more time on the admin and enrolling people in all of the difficult stuff that I need more support. I'm trying to scale my business. I'm trying to develop an affiliate program. So generally I do a 12-week program as well, where I sit down and I hear what you need and help you co-create the tech stack that you need for your offer ecosystem. So that is sort of what I do, and why I do it is born out of my love for my son and serving the community when my son's needs came to the point where the school system no longer served him and he was basically punted out of it. I had to make a lot of changes, and I started running a company to support him because I had to payroll people to stay with him while I was at work. And then ultimately I had to leave work. But when I was doing that business, I had a in-home and community care respite company that was supporting families. And when COVID hit, we shut it down. And I thought, well, it was working great for the parents, it was working great for the workers, and it was working great for the kids. But it was just barely breaking even as a business. So I thought I can still serve people by going digital when we all made that pivot during COVID. And I thought, how can I develop something that once we come out of this thing would top up and subsidize respite and homeschool delivery for exhausted parents of complex needs kids. So as I poured myself into, learning all the things and took lots and lots of training, I see that my time's almost run out. Here's a little buzzer, and I'm going to wait. I basically developed the online coaching and the digital marketing services and the websites, the lead magnets, the subscription communities, the affiliate programs, all of that tech that I do now is a social purpose enterprise. So the money that I raise from all of that digital work helps subsidize care for exhausted parents of special needs. So that is me, why I do what I do, how I do it, and yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from the rest of you today. Thanks, Lorna.
You bet. Thank you so much, Michelle. I love hearing the passion and yeah, the deep why for your son and the families, and for your and for entrepreneurs. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Danielle. So go ahead and pick a thread and comment to that, and then share yours, please.
Sure. Thank you, Michelle. That was great. I think the biggest thread for me from what you were saying was originally when Lorna, you asked like what are the natural gifts, right? Who we serve tends to be kind of wrapped into our natural gifts. That's kind of what stood out the most to me, Michelle. Is I love that you took that thread and you made an entire business from that. That's awesome. Who I serve is really tied into my natural gifts, which is to be able to see people as their higher self. I've always just had the ability to see through the smoke and mirrors, to really just not buy into the stories that people speak from, fragmented aspects of themselves. And so that really ties in beautifully to who I serve, which is people who have experienced complex trauma and are living in a complex traumatized body. And that doesn't necessarily look like a certain gender or sex or any of that stuff. Anybody can experience complex trauma. So there's a wide range of people that I work with, who I serve, and I do that in many different ways, but it is really founded on my own life experiences of getting stuck in that type of embodiment for 10 plus years, really in a frozen nervous system state, which is very common for people who experience complex trauma. When we hold that stuckness, is another way to say trauma, is stuckness in the body. And so that beautifully taught me many things that my education really could have never. Really, I have a master's in counseling and neuroscience and psychology degree, and yet my life experiences getting thrown into the fire have taught me so much more about what people need in those states, what they're thinking, how they're feeling, what they're going through, what's missing in modern mainstream therapy. That's kind of tied into my why. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but they'll all tie together. That's tied into my why, is like mainstream therapy just isn't enough. There's not enough understanding about not only PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder, very simple trauma, not simple as in less than, but easy to pinpoint and contain, versus complex trauma, where you're like a vase that gets shattered and the pieces are all over the place, and they're in the mind, they're in the body, they're in the spirit, they're in the soul, they're in the consciousness, whatever you like to use, and how to really tie all of those pieces together. So I have clients who come to me and they say all the time, like the theme that they see is, I feel like when I go to mainstream talk therapy, I'm just going in and talking about my last week and I'm not really getting anywhere. I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. Yes, right. Because trauma therapy needs, I primarily find what is missing is usually nervous system education, right? Because living in a complex traumatized body, what's happening is your adrenal system, the fight or flight responses, they're going haywire. And that seems to be what is really pulled into what creates emotional dysregulation. So lots of high highs and lots of low lows, lots of triggers, lots of memories that are not in long-term storage because they've been frozen in time. And so that's kind of ties into the piece of how I do what I do. I offer many different ways to work with me. I have like a 2-week intensive, which is really great for people who are really wanting to just understand the language of the nervous system and bringing awareness to the cycles that they're experiencing. What are the triggers? What's that connected to? How do I actually process my emotions? Because a lot of people think they're processing their emotions, but they're really thinking about them. They're really going, I feel sad because this experience happened and it's connected to that and that and that. That's not feeling your emotions. That's actually intellectualizing. And it serves us, of course, because when we feel our emotions, we get connected with the core pain. And so I teach people how to do that, how to discharge that, how to complete the nervous system cycles that are stuck, repairing your attachment style, because inherent in complex trauma is attachment wounding, and subconscious reprogramming, which is, have you guys read The Body Keeps the Score? The body is the subconscious, right? It really is that below the conscious awareness connectivity. And so the nervous system really allows us to bridge the gap between the subconscious and unconscious and the conscious mind to repair that. So I also offer a 4.5-month package for people who really want that deep work, because it's not going to take 2 weeks to repair your attachment style. I'm sorry, but it's going to take a little bit longer than that. And then I also have a mastermind, which is about Liberate Your Wild, people who want to regain their ability to reconnect with how they feel and express that and show up in the world and create those relationships that they've been missing out on. And yeah, why I do what I do is because it's my life mission. It's my life mission. Perfectly timed.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing that. And you packed a lot into that 5 minutes. And I love the way that you are unpacking people's trauma. So it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Adriana, would you like to share?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much, Danielle. Lorna and Michelle know that you speak my language, because this is something that I deeply love, is my gem. Some people say that sounds crazy when I say that I get excited about trauma, in the sense that when I see people that they realize that they have some things, because awareness is the first thing, then that's the first step to healing. So when it comes to who I am and why I do what I do, my why, my gifts, it comes to, of course, like each one of us, I'm sure, if we dive deep on our deep why, is coming from our own suffering, from our own stories, from our own childhood. I grew up into an environment in Romania in the 80s, in the communist country, in the patriarchal culture. So growing up with all these things, it wasn't easy. And it wasn't easy looking now, but looking then, that's all I knew. And I grew up with a certain pattern. I grew up with a man is a certain way and woman is a certain way, and it is, and is no other way. And then I had the opportunity to leave from Romania, where I'm originally from, and I start seeing the world with different eyes. I start understanding that men not always have to be abusive and not always have to be this way, and the women not always have to be quiet and keep their mouth, shut and don't do all these things, because that's what a woman is. It is labels. So I start breaking up a lot of the labels. And as I start breaking a lot of labels, I start realizing that everything I have known about my life and about everything in this world is a big lie. It's just things that have been indoctrinated in me. And then I start seeing this in other people. And of course, like Danielle said, I can see it, I can smell it, I can see the bullshit of people, what they say to themselves, because I said that to myself many years, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And my gift is to see beyond that, and my gift is to be able to take people straight to the root cause of what happened. The anxiety you have today, even the sickness I have today, I manifested. Why did I manifest it? Because it's something underneath. I suppressed it for a while, and my body, like Danielle said, body keep the score, but the body's not never gonna lie, and sooner or later it's gonna come up, and you're gonna have to pay the price. So I see these things now because I've been through them for the last 40 years. And the why is related with, because suffering is optional and we don't need to suffer anymore. Pain, it is. We need to have pain, we need to grow, we need the pains, the growths and the pains of growth. But suffering, I think it's not necessary anymore. And there's too many people suffering, and too many children growing up, broken parents growing up, broken children, and it's not necessary anymore. With all the knowledge, the information, the experience, the tools, really is not necessary in this world. So my mission is to help people to waken up, to become more aware of themselves, and literally take responsibility for their own stuff and their own stories, and stop blaming the parents, stop blaming anybody for that. The way I do it, it's through one-on-ones most of the time, and through speaking. Speaking is something how I find my own voice, and I can reach more people that way. And sorry, my brain is it's a minute slower than normally. And the way I do it is, like I said, the speaking, and the people I serve, I think, is the people that are ready, because believe me, on the beginning of this mission, I try to help everybody, even if they didn't want their help. And now I realize that the only people I can help is those that actually want the help. And that's what I'm looking for. Those are ready already, or at least they're curious. At least to start with, being curious about what else is there than what I knew until now. So that's a little bit of me. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Adriana. and the potency comes through with what you've shared, and the voice that you're using even today. There's that potency there. So thank you. Helia, please share with us.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys, Lorna, Michelle, and Adriana, for doing this. It's very powerful what you're doing, networking, connecting people together, and everything that I'm hearing from all of you. This is my jam. I love it. Mind, body, soul, emotions. And what Adriana just shared, it resonates so much from cultural background, being in a different culture with so much limitations, especially for women. I'm from Iran. It's a third world country. I was never encouraged to learn something to make money, because usually women get married and the husband is a breadwinner. Not anymore in the new generation, I would say, but back then when I was a child. And just so much difference in terms of culture compared to North America. And also another thing I resonate with Adriana is when she said two more things, actually. Suffering is not necessary anymore. I love that. We get stuck in old patterns and we just need to wake up. So many things that you said, Adriana, I really, really love. And that the other thing, the last thing, is that you just want to work with clients who are willing. And that has been my realization in the past few months too. So I want to help everyone, as all of you guys. I want to help every human being on the planet, but we know it is not possible. So people who I'm helping right now are people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, self-employed, has something on their own, even if it's a side hustle. And people who have a dream, most importantly, who have a dream, or even if the dream is not really clear, but they know that they are meant for more. and they are willing to put the effort to go realize their dream. Those are the people I help. The people who are settled down, who are satisfied with bare minimum or whatever they have, and they don't want to grow, they don't want to do anything else, and they just want to wait for retirement, those are not the people that I can help, unfortunately. I teach manifestation and mindset, and I believe like it's all connected: mind, body, subconscious mind. Exactly as you said, Danielle, the body is a subconscious, the body is a manifestation of a subconscious. But mostly what I teach is the teachings of Bob Proctor. So not sure if you guys or the audience familiar with Bob Proctor. Michelle is. Yeah, he was one of the teachers in the movie The Secret, one of the people who talked about law of attraction many, many years ago, the first time it became mainstream. And I've been studying Bob for many years now, and I teach his teachings. I'm a licensed coach of Bob Proctor's. He has a beautiful 6 months program that is amazing for anyone who wants to really reprogram the subconscious mind, get rid of those limiting beliefs, and really start living your dream life. And it's a perfect time right now, like beginning of 2025. Let's go for our dreams. Let's get rid of those limiting beliefs. There is no limitation. It's not economy. It is not where you live. It is not about your job. You can change everything, absolutely everything. It's all in our mind, and it comes from our childhood. It comes from our parents. It comes from genetic programming. And the good news is you can change it. Absolutely anyone can change it. And I always say, if I, a woman from a Middle East country, English not even being my first language, can come to Canada on my own, build my life, don't settle for a corporate job, leave the 9-to-5 job, starting my own business and hustling, and then realizing that I don't even need to hustle. I just need to reprogram my mind and work with the laws of the universe, and everything flows. And that's my why. My why is, I know it is possible for everybody. And I feel like it is my mission. I've been through this journey. I've experienced that for myself, that I can do anything I want. And if I can do it, I'm no one special. There's nothing special about me. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. That's what Bob says. And we are all the same. Our essence, our soul is the same. So if I can do something, if I can go after my dreams and manifest anything I want, and I believe there is no limit, each and every one of you guys can do that. And that's what I teach. And just to add, I know my time is up, but I'm actually offering a free live event. It's a 3 days event called Wealth Manifesting Masterclass, starting December 9th to December 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I can send you guys the link. I don't know if you can add it somewhere, but it's absolutely free. And I teach all the teachings of Bob Proctor in these 3 days. It's going to be an amazing momentum for starting your 2025 strong.
Wonderful, Helia. Yes, yes, and absolutely, yes, you can put the links in. And that's one of the things when you see the video, and Michelle will speak to this more as well at the end, but when you get the notification that our video is there in the group, and it is actually going live now. We've got people watching live. Hello, everyone. So glad you're connecting. But yes, please go into the comments, Helia and Danielle, and put your links, and then people can connect with you there as well. So very beautiful. Thank you. Excitement. Lovely to see the the different things. And I think what we're all doing, and I feel the same way, is like I could take that thread. Oh, there's something from Michelle. Oh, and here's something from Danielle. Oh, from Adriana and Helia. So it's really a beautiful weaving together that's happening here. One of the things that could carry on from what you said, Helia, of the aspect of willing, and Adriana, you mentioned that as well, is that of when people are willing. And it was actually interesting, as a speaker the other day, I was speaking in an interview, and I came through and my voice was feeling kind of hoarse, and I recognized, oh, remember my voice sounds different. I'm coming from a different place when I have this sense that I need people to get this. realizing, no, I don't. They don't need to. I just get to share and express. And those people who are ready, they will hear. So it was just kind of, no, just come from this place of here's who I am and here's my message. So the word healing stood out as well from when you were saying that, Adriana. And I come from this perspective of that we are all whole. From Toronto, Tom Harper years ago mentioned in his book Uncommon Touch that aspect of healing, and it's his definition that I've used all these years, is that of healing isn't about putting pieces together that were broken. It's actually to recognize that we already are whole, and that's really the lens that I look through and live through. When I had my midlife sexual awakening 15 years ago, it was this journey of really starting to bridge this spiritual journey that was already happening after leaving the religious context of things, and bringing the spiritual and sexual pieces together, and then bringing them together into this one. And interesting, I find it fascinating that this journey, this oneness, come into this sense of duality and come back into the sense of oneness beautifully is reflected in the shape of a vulva, of the introitus of the vaginal opening. And I think it's no accident that is there to represent that journey of coming back home. I look at this aspect of from a teaching in the school system, and then teaching energy work, and now teaching in the sexual erotic realm of things. It's looking at how we've been taught this duality, and it's really, oh, come back. It's not separate. We're not separate, man and woman, no matter what body we're in, or spirit and human. So it's just really coming back in and letting the sexuality that seems to be that portal that brings us from spirit into this human journey, but to bring us back and let that be the portal back into our wholeness. So I really love supporting people in reconnecting to their bodies, to their sexuality, and women into their leadership. I really see that as a representative of the feminine. When we talk about the feminine rising, and I say the feminine, it's not just about females or the feminine energy, but it's spirit. And when the feminine rises, when we look through the mirror into what we've seen, mirrors show the opposite, that where the feminine or women have been down, masculine and patriarchy up here, it's look in the mirror and it's upright this way. So the feminine rises and the masculine, that form, is there in service too. So it was actually after my midlife sexual awakening 15 years ago, a part of that was actually into something that I used to see was so evil and dark and shameful and sinful, was that of the world of BDSM. And for years I was a pro-dom, and it was through that my spiritual awakening just continued to, this is it, this domination and submission. It's this dark night of the soul, the surrender of the masculine of form into this realization and connection, and in service to the feminine, to the spirit. So I work with people one-on-one, people who have come through sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse, or sexual abuse of various kinds, women who are ready to really step into reclaim their power, their sexuality, and their leadership in their lives, whether that's in their home, their sexual relationship, into their businesses, is really reclaiming that. And the men that I work with that come to me are just saying they want to be the best they can be for their wife, their partner, their girlfriend. And so great, let's do that. And it taps into this place where they are able to serve from their heart as well. So I work one-on-one. I'm getting ready to launch a group program, first of all, that starts with consent, really establishing that feeling, that energy within from which consent is expressed. And then 3-month program, 3, 6, and 9, which addresses the rise, roar, and reign aspect of that. So working with group, I do bondage trainings where I train practitioners to do that as a business, as part of their business, as well as the empowerment comes from that. I have a private Facebook group for women. It really helps them to connect in with community. I'm going to be diving in and doing more with that as well. And so my why really is, again, as it was said, often it comes from what our own journey is. And it's me to really just say, to experience the oneness of who I am, we are. All right, so this beautiful sharing that's happened. Michelle, if you will pick up a thread, something that I shared, and then please take us into our third round of our day together today.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I'm going to share connecting with that owning your gift, owning yourself, owning your power. That's something that I learned from you, Lorna. And if you have a chance to take any of Lorna's stuff, especially the stuff about consent, she has some really neat exercises and ways to kind of bring that sort of viscerally into yourself to be able to establish those boundaries for yourself, and the whole concept of, you know, coming home to yourself. I actually relate a lot to what Helia was saying about everything being within ourselves, in our minds. And so that I've had recent and extensive experience with Bob Proctor's programming, and it has been phenomenal to, you know, just, oh yeah, all of that is that mirror outwards. And if I'm seeing something that actually, that's just reflecting something that's a paradigm inside my own mind that I can shift and that I can be in control of, and that I can connect to source and balance out the body, mind, and soul, and be able to focus and bring into reality the things that I want to see. And that's why I love that it's just it is so natural to be able to be yourself. And I really appreciate each of you having been your unique and authentic selves here today. You are all amazing gifts. And so before we kind of go into the wrap up here, I wanted to, well, we'll do a wrap up, and the way that what we're going to do is, if you could think of a word that would describe the energy of today's session, I'm going to go around and ask you what that word is, and you can say why or not, but if you want to just share the word, that's fine too. And then we'll do kind of a sum up of some of the things that Lorna and Adriana and I have been working on here. So maybe actually, since Adriana, would you mind sharing your word of the day first?
Yeah, for me, it came the word natural, because I think it comes very natural to each one of us to be and express who we are today, and we are feeling natural on our mission. It's natural for us to express and be who we are today. So
thank you very much. And maybe we'll go backwards in order. Helia, would you mind saying what word you would use to describe today?
Sure. The word that came to my mind was inspiration, because you guys, I'm looking at you, listening to you, and you're all amazing source of inspiration for other women and men in this world. And I love that you're going after your dreams and you're making a difference. And yeah, so very inspiring session.
Thank you so much for being here and being inspiring yourself. Danielle, what word would you use?
The first word that came to my mind was precious, because I'm very visual. I can see a lot in my mind's eye. And so to me, I just saw like a pearl at the bottom of the ocean, and like opening it, and everybody kind of offering like the gifts of their soul as the pearl that they've curated through their life. So I thought that was
right.
sweet.
Those grains of sand that agitate end up producing beautiful things, don't they? And that our trauma can be converted. Thank you for your work in that area. It's I can tell that you're very powerful at it. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Lorna, what's your word today?
The word that comes is feeling. The power of feeling.
Thank you. And my word, I actually am, I'm sensing a lot of like peace, centeredness, that in each of us, you know, we're bopping through the world and sharing our gifts, but we can only do that when we have come home to ourselves, and when we have that. And I feel like this session has been a very calm and peaceful, centered kind of set of like-minded folks, especially Canadians, who are who are just here to serve. And it's just been such an honor to have each of you, and to have you afterwards in the group as a resource. Part of what Adriana and Lorna and I had intended to create with Body, Mind, and Soul Network was a really not just sort of a group where, you know, everybody piles in, but that where we get to, you know, like, and trust each other, and understand our unique gifts. And like Lorna said, be able to say, oh, right, Helia does this, and oh, Danielle's really good at that. And, you know, Adriana kicks butt at this, and Lorna is an expert in that, and to be really able to support each other in delivering those unique and natural gifts of ourselves. So what we've been working on, aside from the Connection Circle, a couple of things. One is, now that you've been through Connection Circle, and come as many times to Connection Circle as you'd like, but we would like to offer you also a deeper one-on-one interview. So a 15-minute interview, Danielle and Helia, if you would like, just get a hold of one of us, and or you should get an email afterwards that would let you book that, but just gives you a little bit more deeper dive into describing your particular practice and what you do. But this video will stay in the community and let people know, stand as a video business card. So make sure that you drop your links, and anybody who's watching, make sure that you connect with Danielle and Helia and Lorna and Adriana and I in the comments if you want to just say hi, or if you say, oh, I need that help, for sure. And we wanted to kind of take that to the next level as well, and we've been working hard on an offer that goes along with this, and we're just about to launch. I'd hoped I would have it done today, but we don't. It's going to be very soon, where we're developing a subscription community where we're going to be having even more concentrated benefit to folks in the network. So we're going to be, yes, doing exclusive engaging content and features, but then and feature spotlights that will let people get connected even better. But we're going to be doing collaborative opportunities, service swaps, needed guest exchanges, all sorts of things. But we'd also like to feature you in our storefront as a provider of body, mind, and souls. Our hope was to connect people who needed your services with you, and you with people who needed your services. So we're going to be doing a number of different things, and yeah, getting the group going such that, live launch events and summits and that sort of thing. So we're just getting that. The subscription community will formally be launching in January. So we're just now doing some beta subscriptions, and yeah, that's what's coming up. We'll be telling you more about that not too distant into the future. Lorna, Adriana, did I forget anything? Is there anything you would want to add? I think we're good. But again, it's been such a pleasure to have each of you on today. And yeah, I see that, Danielle, thank you. I will make sure that you're in the group so you can go in, and we'll tag you in this post. Make sure that you do drop your links, and I'll do that right after the session today. So anything else you guys wanted to add or say before we close shop for the day?
Come off mute and say hi, and any closing things if you would like to. You can
I just want to add a quick thing, if I may. For anyone who's watching this, I want to really encourage you that think about what is it that you really love to do, and what kind of life do you really love to live. And for just a minute, don't limit yourself, and just become a little bit delusional, maybe even, and go to the new year with that energy. There's nothing you're gonna lose. Absolutely nothing. Just become a dreamer for the next few days, and just walk into 2025 with that energy and see what happens. And thank you so much, guys. You're all amazing. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, Adriana, did you want to take us out?
Yes.
Is there anything,
Thank you so much.
Danielle, sorry, just to Adriana, before you close us, Danielle, just give you an opportunity if there's anything. I saw that you were unmuted, so just give you a space there if you'd like to share.
Sure. I was just going to say that I wanted to encourage everybody to know that there is no such thing as being too broken to recover. I have yet to meet somebody who has not been able to move through the process once they understand the intricacies of what's really happening inside of themselves, and how to really manage flashbacks and mitigate those. So do know that with the right tools, resources, and support, that it is absolutely possible to 100% recover from complex trauma. Yes, and I also want to say thank you to all you lovely ladies for holding space and having such a great conversation.
Wonderful. Glad to have you here. This was wonderful, Danielle and Helia. Adriana, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, each one of you, for being here. Thank you, Lorna and Michelle, for holding space, even for me today, as I'm not, I don't have the energy I always have and bring. So thank you so much for your support and your help. That's why we all hear each other to support. I want to say thank you to each one of you for being present. I seen a lot of people was watching us live today. So if you watch this live, thank you for watching, taking the time to watch. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to hear where you are tuning and watching from. And like always, if you want to join us next time, we do this every 2 weeks, every second Sunday. So we'd love to have you here. And also, if you enjoy this conversation and would like to bring a friend, bring someone that you know they have a story and they know gifts that needs to be shared with our community. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care.